Welcome back to Southeast Texas Weekly. Joining us to talk further about this, the Dean of Southeast Texas Politics, in my very humble yet quite intelligent view, Nathan Buddy Reynolds. Good to see you, sir. We appreciate you coming by. Man, we're going to go straight to you for this question because we've been talking about Carly Fiorina. Now, what did you think about how Carly Fiorina came off last night? If there were a Hillary Clinton, Carly Fiorina head-to-head match in the fall of 2016, who would win it and why?
I think Ms. Fiorina came off as being overly harsh, very hard, very stern. The position she took during her speech, the Planned Parenthood speech, certainly based on, from what I have been informed, a tenuous or maybe not. The video may not be what it seems, but she took it as gospel.
Was she wrong in what she said?
And of course, nobody on that stage was going to question that.
On the Planned Parenthood question?
No, I think that the American people identify with what Carly said as far as shutting down Planned Parenthood, and that our legislatures are nobody if they can't effectuate that.
You feel like she gained points on that?
I do, and
certainly
I think,
with a GOP electorate.
Well, and I think
as a situation.
Yeah, as a female in the political arena, if you're too emotional, then you're too female and you're too sensitive. If you're not emotional enough, then you're being called harsh. And so it's a really hard balance, I think, especially for a female candidate. I think she's very businesslike. I think she's very matter of fact, but I think she's businesslike.
Well, it's interesting because you have the Carly Fiorina, the business person, you have the Donald Trump, the business person, then you have the antithesis of what we think of as hardcore business in this country anyway, with Dr. Ben Carson. You know, he comes off as the everyman. Good strategy for him to take, do you think? And I know how you like to give strategy to Republican candidates, so I'll...
well, I think I would go back to Carly and say that I think that she did come across as being harsh, and I think sometimes women have a problem coming across...
But is Hillary Clinton not a little strident in some of her rhetoric?
She's had 20 years to practice, so I think she's had a little more practice on the public stage.
Plays the game better?
And Carly comes across as being rich. I've got mine, I've got my health care, and the rest of you people can go without.
It was interesting, am I wrong, when Chris Christie actually has to break up a fight? I mean, I think of Chris Christie as a fairly strident,
he scored some points there. He scored some points.
Yeah. Anybody else, apart from Dr. Ben Carson, able to affect this matter of I'm the everyman or I'm the good guy going forward? Because everybody seems to say Donald Trump is the tough guy. Maybe that's what America needs, maybe not. But Donald Trump's the tough guy. Anybody else able to strike a tone that you saw could emerge within the Republicans that could be a threat to Hillary?
I think not till they get rid of Donald Trump.
He's
overshadowing everybody.
You believe firmly that it's Donald Trump's to lose, am I wrong?
At this point, and I don't know when people are going to get tired of the rhetoric and get tired of his sound bites. If they do, then I don't know if there'll be any men or women left standing at that time.
You've heard some of our colleagues talk about this idea that that Donald Trump actually in polling, if you looked at it as a head-to-head with Hillary, gets the independents and gets some of the middle, and could win in a head-to-head race with Hillary. Those are polls. What do you think of them?
I think the American people are going to sober up from this frat party and sometime want some real answers to a tax plan, which is something other than, it's going to be fabulous, you're going to love it. I'm going to build this wall and it's going to be beautiful. I think we're going to look for a little more substance in the candidate at some point in time, and I think Trump's going to have problems at that point.
Interesting.
He thinks the American people are going to want real answers, assuming they've not already been wiped off the server. I don't know that we're going to get real answers from the Clinton administration, because
she raises a good point.
They're probably in the emails, or else they were killed in Benghazi.
We're 505 days into the email controversy. There hasn't been a breach of security, and nobody's found a top secret document. So we'll head into 500 day.
So she got away with destroying whatever it was she didn't want to turn over.
There are no top secret documents, and the server wasn't breached. There is no controversy.
If there was
And they're
nothing
still
there,
looking for
turn
the
it over.
weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, all right. So I have you on the record as saying Hillary Clinton will not be damaged politically by this. Because
Well, it's not
I've heard
helping her.
national
It's not helping
political
her.
commentators say that this is how Bernie Sanders has emerged as a viable candidate.
When it comes down to a choice for the American people to vote for a Republican candidate or a Democratic candidate, I think Donald Trump's going to be in trouble.
Okay. All right. Let me ask this question of you, since you haven't had a chance to cover it yet. In Texas, we understand immigrants. We understand refugees, if you will, from lands that are impoverished, where people have a legitimate interest in trying to get out. The Syrian refugee crisis bother you at all?
Absolutely it does. We only have a limited amount of resources in our country, in our state, in our community. And that resource ultimately goes back to the land. And our land can only support a certain number of people. Their land, the way they are administering it right now over in Syria, cannot support those people.
I
So
got
they're
you.
exporting them over here, because of their government,
Yeah.
and the way they're handling things. So it's going to be a problem for us
And,
in feeding the people.
With that, I have to go. See ya.
Southeast Texas Weekly, brought to you by the Modern Vein Surgery Institute at Privity Clinic for Surgical Care.